being out of the closet has made literally everything better, except for job interviews. Because I used to be a straight, cis, white man, okay? I fucking killed it in job interviews. Half the time I didn't even have to bring my resume. I would just show up and be like, catch the game last night, and they would give me the job. I wouldn't even have to specify which game. These days, I have to be like, I'm here, I'm queer, and I am gonna tone myself down so these people will hire me.
My name is Sunny Laprade, and I am a stand-up comedian.
How has your transitioning affected your comedy?
I think it's made me funnier. I think that it's definitely affected my material. Like I do a lot more trans specific material than I did before. But I also just think that being more in touch with myself and feeling at least slightly more comfortable or at home in my body has helped me as a performer. In terms of so much of, you can write the world's funniest joke, but if you deliver it like garbage, it's not funny. So I think that it's helped my delivery being more in tune with who I am. I didn't really realize this at the time. I started doing stand-up when I was 15. But looking back on my old stand-up, since I came out, especially, I look back at it and I realized that the stuff I was making jokes about was I always write jokes about whatever I'm thinking about at the time. Or whatever is most on my mind or most pressing to me at that moment. And so looking back, a lot of my old stand-up where I was like, yeah, maybe I'm a little bit queer.
I was on the bus the next day and I was talking to some people on the bus and I was like, well, today's a pretty big day for me. My dog's getting an operation and it's my first day being single in 5.5, 6 months. And this one girl goes, what, she find out you were gay? Whoa! That's the first thing? Let me clarify, this wasn't one of the guys. This was some random bus chick.
Was me kind of processing those feelings, and it was an outlet for me to be able to speak about it without people necessarily taking me too seriously. I do remember after it was the first time I did stand up in front of other people, I made a bunch of jokes about being maybe I'm queer, but maybe not. I don't know. And somebody came up to me after the show and was like, that was really funny, but I want you to know that if those aren't jokes and you're being serious, I can't be your friend anymore. So kind of confirming that I wasn't necessarily in a spot where it was safe for me to be open and out. But this gave me an outlet to still be able to talk about that aspect of my life.
So I'm transgender. Wow, it's the first time no one has clapped. Thanks. I'm from Trump country, so that pause isn't a break for applause. I just have to try and dodge a bottle most of the time.
I have dealt with. Okay, well, so I told that story at the open mic earlier about the dude who said that I was an ugly woman or whatever. And he started asking people in the audience if they wanted to fuck me. And people in the audience were saying yes, which was I'm glad that you're being supportive and not transphobic. But to be honest, I didn't want to know who in the audience did or did not want to fuck me in the first place. But so I happened to think of a good response and I yelled in the audience. I said, it's all good, bro. I wouldn't have fucked you anyways because I only fuck funny dudes. And that got a huge laugh out of the audience to the point where the comedian on stage got really upset about it and left. He finished his set early and left the club. If I can think of something snappy and funny, I will respond. But for the most part, I tend to ignore it. We need more queer and especially trans people in the comedy scene, both as audience members and as other comics. And I think that things are moving in a great direction. And like I recently have been able to participate in the New York Queer Comedy Festival, which has been such an amazing experience because I haven't really spent that much time in like specifically queer comedy spaces. And it's so amazing. And it makes me wish there was more. So like support your local queer and trans comics, and let's all try and make more of those spaces because they're awesome.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I'm Sunny Laprade. That's my time. Thanks.
My name is Sunny Laprade. Thank you for your time.
I'm Sunny. Thank you for your time.
I will also stop recording.